So how do we stack up in the AFC? Let's take a look. Welcome back, Raider Nation, and my champions. This is Eric, and once again, we are live on a Friday evening, of course, in the dog days of summer. How you guys doing out there? I know a lot of people are just starting to file in right now. Of course, we're only doing these once every other week. Frankly, there's not a whole lot to talk about. I do have some Raiders news for you. We'll get into that in a minute, but the main thing we're going to talk about is how I feel we stack up in the AFC. Now, I did this last year, if you recall. I'm actually going to show you how I stacked us up along with the rest of the AFC last season. I took a screenshot of last year's live stream where we stood and compare and see how well I did or how poorly I did. I think I did more good than bad, I would say. Of course, with the Raiders, a lot of people did not expect them to go 6-11 off of a 10-7 season with a new regime. But we'll get into that, and I'm going to put where I think the Raiders are right now for this season as well. So I want to say hello to all of you out there. I know a lot of you are coming out here. Again, this is the dog days of summer. I appreciate you guys coming out here, not only watching live, but also on replay. I get a lot of people on replay, believe it or not. And the only thing I got to ask is, why not subscribe to the channel? That way you'll be here and you can be involved with our live chat. And I have the live chat up. I will get to that if we want to use that as well. Let me get it. There we go. Hang on a second. There we go. That's better. Well, I do have the live chat up there. It is in the pinned comment. You just click on that link. If you are watching live, you can do that. Of course, on a replay, you can't do that. But you can come and chat with us live about Raider news, Raider things in general, anything you basically want to talk about Raider related, or we can even talk about NFL related as we're talking about the AFC here and where we stand. So if you are new to the program, where we're at is this is how we normally do things. I will show you. We have what we call the rundown here, and this is the schedule of topics that we're going to be doing. I see you in there, Kevin. You're lurking. Kevin Lurker's lurking. He says, "In the house, champ. How you doing?" Yeah, I mean, like I said, I come on every other week right now because, frankly, there's not a whole lot to talk about. I do have some Raiders news and then some rumors and speculation, but some actual honest to goodness news we can talk about. We'll talk about that. Also going to, of course, go into the tier rankings. I did that last year. If you were here last year, Kevin, I did that, and I will show how I did, and I will show what I did last season and how I ranked all the AFC teams in general. We're going to do, of course, the Tiermaker program. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to talk about what's next for the Raiders. Talk a little bit about salary cap, where we stand, what's going on with Jimmy G, the draft picks, Josh Jacobs, and more. So stay tuned. But first thing I want to do is talk about you guys. That is the champions, of course. Without you guys, there is no channel.
I hear everyone say it. Take what they give you. We're going to take what we want.
Now, of course, a lot of things are kind of a little stagnant right now. I did get a couple new Facebook followers, which is great. I appreciate that. But for the most part, it's pretty stagnant right now, and it's understandable because we're in the off season. We're past the draft. Like I said, we're kind of in the dog days of summer right now. We're post draft, before training camp, post June 1st cuts. But with the Raiders, especially with the Raiders case, don't have a whole lot of salary cap money to play with. So we're really not going to be able to make any big splash. Plus, we have this looming situation with Jimmy G and the injury. Art White says, "Salute, champ." It's the month of hell, the dead zone. Yeah, basically. And Kevin Lurker, the void times. This is why I'm not coming on every week. Frankly, there's not enough to talk about. I mean, I won't waste your time, my time. And I also said I have another channel that I do as well. But I do appreciate you guys coming on. I love the Raiders, Raider Nation. I've been a fan for several decades, and like I said, I've seen the last time they won a Super Bowl, and that's We're looming on 40 years now, guys. This is 1983 season, so of course it's 2023 now. You can do the math. We did win in January 84, but of course the 1983 season, so we are getting to that 40-year mark, and frankly, I don't see us competing at least this year. Obviously, I've talked about that before, but I'm going to show you where we stand with our tier rankings. But first, I want to talk about where we are as far as the poll of the week. Now, I did put a poll of the week out, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about the AFC. Of course, the AFC West is dominated by the Chiefs. We all know that, but I wanted to ask you guys, which of these non-divisional AFC teams is going to give us the most trouble this year? And of course, we're going to be playing all four of these teams in the regular season: Miami Dolphins, Jets, Patriots, and Steelers. And almost half of you said the Miami, pretty much dominated by the Dolphins and the Jets, and completely understandable. I would probably give the nod to the Jets, to be honest with you, and I will get to that in my Tiermaker session. Patriots are down. Obviously, I with the Bills in that division, it looks like the Patriots are looking at fourth place in that AFC East. Steelers, we're going to have to see what Kenny Pickett has, quarterback. First year out, we'll see. Is he going to jump or is he going to fall back? So a lot of questions with the Steelers. Of course, they have an overall pretty good team there. They still have Najee Harris, but it's a quarterback league. So I would say that's the least threatening. So I would go with the Jets first, then the Dolphins, but that's me. Dolphins are going to be pretty formidable as well. So let's get right into this, guys. All right, we're going to get into this Tiermaker. I got to switch a few things over, of course. How you guys doing? So I got to get the website up. I'm going to go through this real quick. So we do have Spot Track up if you want to look at the salary cap. Pretty much the same as last time. We will go over the Raider news in a minute. Let's get to the Tiermaker first. Now, if you see right below me, this is how I had the AFC last offseason, about almost a year ago to the date. It was late June. I did that so you can see the logos there. I've changed it, from the S tier, A, B, C, and all that. I kind of put conference favorites, solid contenders, playoff fringe, on the decline a year or so, and not buying it. So, and I'm looking, and honestly, probably Jacksonville was a little bit of a miss. I wasn't completely sold on Tua Tagovailoa, Tua Latin. He did play pretty well until he got smacked around and got, who knows how many concussions, let's be honest. So I was probably a little off on that. The Jets, I was probably right on the money with Zach Wilson. I think another year or so, and I will reflect that in my tier rankings. Pittsburgh, they were kind of either way. Of course, Roethlisberger was gone. Pickett's there. I think Pickett still needs some seasoning. Let me be honest with that. But the team overall was pretty good enough to make the playoffs. Of course, 7 teams in the playoffs now instead of 6. So then I had the other ones here. Cleveland, I probably had a little bit too high. I do like the team overall. I will give my opinion on that for this year, especially with Deshaun Watson's situation. The Colts could not really get the job done this year with Matt Ryan. They had Baker Mayfield there for a time. Got some veterans in there. Still didn't get the job done, to be honest with you. Jonathan Taylor kind of regressed a little bit as far as that goes. I think that's more so with the quarterback play that can focus more on the running game if you do not respect the passing game. Then I had the Raiders in second, kind of because we came off 10-7 season. I thought we would probably get 10 or 11 wins there. I still think we're better. We would be better than the Chargers. We weren't. We ended up in third place. I did have Denver on the fringe on the way out, but I did say that they would finish last, and they did. And a lot of people were kind of on that Nathaniel Hackett, Russell Wilson bandwagon. It didn't turn out well at all. The wheels kind of fell off. I will give my opinion on Denver this year, as well as Buffalo and Kansas City. I think they're the class of it. Of course, Kansas City won the whole thing. I think Buffalo got a little screwed on that one game where the guy got injured, Hamlin got injured. It is what it is. to me, they're kind of interchangeable. They had a hell of a game a couple years back in the playoffs. So let's get to this year, though. So I'm going to kind of work my way backwards. So I'm going to start with the Texans at the bottom there from last year. Kind of work my way up. I will do the Raiders last, though. I will do the Raiders last. So you have to kind of watch the whole thing. A little teaser. So I got the Texans here. I'm going to give them a year or so. Now, we could look at the depth chart. Now, they are slowly trying to build something here. Of course, Dameon Pierce is a guy I wanted a couple years back as the heir apparent to Josh Jacobs. We didn't get him, of course. They got CJ Stroud with their first pick, and then they moved up again and got Will Anderson, edge rusher. Not so sure he fits there as a defensive end in a 4-3 system. I think he's a little too small for that. I think he's more of an outside linebacker. It may be a 3-4. I think that would better suit him. Maybe he'll prove me wrong, but I think he's a little bit too light for that position there specifically. And they might move him. They might move him to linebacker too. So and rush quarterback, the Chiefs. Okay, we are doing the Tiermaker. Of course, the Chiefs are going to be high. Of course, they are the defending champs. I mean, I'm not giving any spoilers away on that. So they did get Denzel Perryman. Like I said, he didn't really get that much money there. I'm kind of shocked with that we didn't even go after him. I think he didn't want to come back. I think there was one of the guys who didn't like the new regime. I'm kind of surprised he got paid. I think he only got like $3 million. I'm kind of surprised he got as little as he did, being a Pro Bowler. I know he's injury prone, but still. But anyway, that's where I want to put the Houston Texans right now. They're a little intriguing team. Of course, they're on CJ Stroud now, rookie season. Most of the time, rookie quarterbacks do not fare well. They get a little bit. I mean, look at the stats. Even Peyton Manning got his ass kicked around, threw a ton of interceptions. So, not to say Stroud's going to suck, but I'm just talking about 2023. I think they're about a year or so away from getting into playoff contention. Al's ghost, same ghost, different look. The Ghostbuster. You got the Ghostbuster, Al. That's funny. How you doing? I'm glad to see you guys. Of course, I'm only coming on once every other week now. I'll probably do that again this time. So 2 weeks from now, we'll come on, have another show. And then probably 2 weeks from then, we'll be right at training camp. So then I'll probably start doing the weeklies then. So basically, there's not a whole lot to talk. There are a couple of things we can talk about, some actual news, and then some rumors. Everybody's tight-lipped, but there is some actual news. Let's get to the Jags. Jacksonville Jaguars, a little low on them last season. I was probably obviously a little too low. I'm going to put them right here on the playoff fringe. This is going to be tough. I think there's a lot of good teams. So we'll do that right there. Conference favorites. I want to make it big enough, but I got to reach down and get the teams as well. I think they're a playoff fringe team. There are 7 teams in the division. I think there might be 7 teams that are better than them, to be honest. But I think they could very well win the division too. But not quite so sure about that. I think they might. So we'll see. It all depends on kind of how Tennessee is. Is Derrick Henry going to come back? There's still some things going on with that. Houston, Anthony Richardson, is he going to come out the gate strong because he's more of a runner and he can make up for a kind of learning curve as far as the passing game goes? The rest of that team's pretty solid, let's be honest. Offensive line, they've got the weapons. They've got Jonathan Taylor, and the defense is at least average to above average there, let's be honest, with the Colts. So, again, it's quarterback league, though. I think Trevor Lawrence getting away from Urban Meyer and that nonsense with Doug Peterson actually kind of looked like he had a real coach for once, and it kind of showed. So I might be putting them too low here, maybe a step up, but I'm going to have them right there. I think the AFC South is really in flux right now, and it's going to be difficult to see what's going on with that. Let's go. Oh, gosh. Wow, Hefe. Shot across the bow on that one. What the heck, really? Ooh. Oh, boy. So let's go to our next one, Miami, which I had ranked low, and this was based on Tua. I hadn't really seen much from Tua, let's be honest. I'm gonna put them right here in solid contenders. I think they'll definitely make the playoffs. Of course, Tua is supposed to come back, and he played very well when he didn't get face planted and pile driven and all that, and was out on his feet basically. But very well. Waddle, Hill. They've got Devin Achane, another speedster freak at running back that they got in the middle rounds this year. They're going to be problems for teams like Buffalo, Jets, even Kansas City. We're going to have some problems with them as well, obviously. So I'm not going to put that up, Kevin. I'm not going to put that up. Let's get to the Jets. Let's get to the next one, the Jets. Now, I think I'm going to move the Jets just ahead of Miami here in the solid contenders. Like I said, it's quarterback league. Jets look pretty solid overall, except at the quarterback position last year. Zach Wilson basically fell on his face. Crazy, but they got Aaron Rodgers now. I know he's old, 1 year rental, but we're not talking about the future here. We're talking about this year. Where are they standing? I think they're a solid contender. Like I said, it's quarterback league. Very solid team overall. It's going to be very interesting where they are. And of course, Aaron Rodgers is going to want to show out. He's not going to want to go out with a whimper here. So I think they're going to make the play. I think both teams are probably going to make the playoffs as long as Tua is healthy. I think Jets are going to make the playoffs regardless. And they built that offensive lineup. The defense has always been solid, especially the defensive line there with the Jets. It's always they've perennially, like the last 4 or 5 seasons, I believe. So I think that's kind of warranted there. I don't have a problem whatsoever with that ranking. Let's get to the next one on my list, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I got to pull them out here. So I'm going to put the Steelers back on the decline. I know they made the playoffs last year. I was absolutely shocked that they did. They had to win a few games to get in and all that. Still got the winning record with Mike Tomlin and all that. But until Kenny Pickett really shows me what he can do, he's had little flashes, but he has to make the step up. And I'm kind of leery of that right now. I'm really kind of leery. I know Pickens played well in his rookie season. Sometimes rookie wide receivers have a sophomore slump and regress. And frankly, the rest of the division, I think, is probably better than them. Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Baltimore right now. All three of them, I think, are better than the Steelers right now. So I'm looking at them to being in the cellar right now. So anyway, so that's where I got the Steelers. Kenny Pickett proved me wrong. If Kenny Pickett plays well, I'd probably put him up in this area. But I'm going to put him here. They could fall through. So we'll see about that. Next team I had on my list. Now I'm going from 2022. So you see the picture right below me. So the next one will be the New England Patriots. So I'm ranking them by tiers, but in the tiers though, I'm kind of ranking them who I'd have one above the other. So I have the Jets a little bit higher than Miami. I think that's big as quarterback play. I think Miami's a little bit more dynamic. But I think we know what we're getting with the Jets more than Miami and Tua's health. Let's be honest. Like I said, it's quarterback league. We can't overemphasize that rather. So New England, I'm going to put it right here. I think they're on the decline. I think they're probably a little bit better than Pittsburgh. Let's face it, Mac Jones was terrible last year. They didn't really address it. I was thinking that maybe they'd try to go after Derek Carr. Maybe they did and it didn't happen. We don't know what happened behind the scenes. Obviously, he went to the Saints when all was said and done. But I'm not a Mac Jones believer at all. He played like crap against us last year, and we were a shitty team at the time. And we barely beat them with the Chandler Jones nonsense because he threw it right to Chandler Jones, or Jacoby Myers threw it right to Chandler Jones. I'm not impressed with Matt Jones. I think Ramondre Stevenson, a guy I wanted, three drafts ago, and go back, look at my live streams, look at my videos. I wanted Ramondre Stevenson. The guy's a stud. So that's Ramondre Stevenson, Damian Pierce. Should I be a GM? Maybe I should, because the Raider GMs have been absolute shit. So I just got to say it. I got to say it right there. He's good, but what else is going to happen there? obviously Tom Brady, that whole era is over. Belichick, a lot of people have rumors that he's going to go to Dallas next year when McCarthy's going to fall on his face. I don't see that. I think if this happens and Belichick leaves, he's just going to go. He's just going to go and take his rings and be happy. Remember, Belichick before Patriots, he was the head coach of the Browns. They didn't do jack shit. Let's go back and look. They didn't do much of anything. So I think this team's on the decline. I can't totally count them out. I'm not going to put them too far down, but I think that's a good spot for them right now. Oh, gosh. We got another Chiefs. We got another Chiefs fan in here. How am I getting so many Chiefs fans in here? This isn't Hefe. I'm not going to put that on the screen, but I mean, it's bad enough, Kansas City. You guys are winning. You guys got the best quarterback and all that. It's a quarterback league. If you breathe on Patrick Mahomes, you're going to get a penalty. Like Max Crosby did in that one game is absolutely ridiculous. And then Patrick Mahomes, the little mouse, me, talks all kinds of smack. Go after 270 pounds. Don't hide. Don't hide on the sidelines. Talk to his face. He don't want to do that. Yeah, he'll get broken in half. So I got all respect for KC because what they accomplished. Andy Reid, what he's accomplished, even with Philly, they couldn't win the big one, but he's won it a couple times here. I think he's the best coach in the league, but Patrick Mahomes, he's a little mouse. He's got great talent on the field, but he's a little punk. So I think he ought to be lucky we're not playing old school Raiders. Jack Tatum, probably knock him out for the year. You want to talk? Okay, yeah, you won. Bye. You're a 2 now. Good luck. Jeez Louise. Yeah, the chat's getting a little out of hand right now. I need my mods. My mods aren't here. My mods took the summer off as well because it's the off season. Let's move on from that. Oh, we've talked enough about the Patriots. Jeez Louise. Let's talk about Denver Broncos. Had them finishing 4th last season. I got that one right. I definitely got that one right. We did sweep them. We have not beaten them, or they have not beaten us since we've been the Oakland Raiders. We talked about the schedule. I think that's going to change this year. I think we're going to split with them. Coaching matters. I think I'm not saying Russell Wilson's going to get back to MVP form, but it will definitely be a change with Sean Payton there. And I'm going to put Denver a year or so away. I think they'll be more competitive. But Javonte Williams tore his ACL late in the year. He's not going to be 100%. I know they got Samaje Perine. I think he'll be an admirable fit, but I think it's going to take a year to figure out what they're going to do at wide receiver. They're spending like $30 million there. I showed that before. And the system and all that. I think the offensive line is not quite there yet. They overplayed 2 years ago, and last year they kind of fell back to earth. Russell Wilson isn't the same player and the scrambling guy he used to be. Not to say he sucks. Definitely not MVP caliber. And I would say 2024 for this team. Let Sean Payton get a year under his belt. The defense has receded a little bit. Let's be honest. The edge rushing is not like it used to be with Von Miller. Bradley Chubb is gone as well. They do have some edge rush. Not quite there. I think they're better on the outside. Can be exploited on the inside, like I've said before. I'm going to give them another year. I'm going to give them another year with this. But it is what it is. I think 2024, especially in this division, especially with the Chargers and Chiefs, I don't think they can compete with those two teams at all right now. Oh, let's see. Oh, God. Oh, geez. Oh, you guys are going to get me in trouble with all this. Oh, I guess, yeah, I got to get rid of this. I got to get rid of this nonsense. We can't have that kind of talk in here, guys. Come on. That's number one. I'm not going to get in trouble because of you guys. I've had that on other platforms. I'm not going to deal with it. We need to be respectful. Like I said, let's keep it on the field. And like I said, with the Chiefs, I give them respect. I mean, they're the defending champions. They've won the division 8 years in a row. You know, it's not like I like it. I'm a Raider fan, so I can't stand it, but it is what it is. And I want to look at reality, and they're the big dogs up there, and everybody's gunning for them, including the Bills, Cincinnati, etc. So that's what we need to do. We need to get better so we can compete better and to try to topple them. So, all right, let's go to the next one here. Let's go. I'm trying to see it. Okay, I was wondering if everybody just left. So let's go to the next one here. That's where I got Denver. I think they're another year away with Sean Payton. Let's go to Tennessee Titans. Kind of counted them out last year. I'm still on that bandwagon. Of course, Tannehill kind of fell back to earth from a couple years ago. Of course, backing up Mariota coming in and, you know, almost kind of MVP talk. I wouldn't say he was an MVP, but MVP type talk. Not so much last year. Derrick Henry, what's going to happen with that guy? I know they got Tajay Spears. We talked about that guy in our mock drafts. Very dynamic player. I just think that division is in such flux right now. AFC South. I think Jacksonville's on the rise. I think the Colts, we'll see the growth of Anthony Richardson. I think they're probably a better team, with the exception of if Richardson, you know, screws the pooch. But the other players around him are very good. I finally got a real coach instead of Jeff Saturday, so got a little bit more respect for them. Of course. Houston's in a rebuild, and they showed it. They went up and got a dynamic player, a young player on offense and defense. So again, they're kind of in the build. I think Tennessee's going to be on the way down, though. Let's go to our next one, and that's the Baltimore Ravens. So where did I put the Baltimore Ravens at? I'm going to put them. Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna put them right. You know what? I'm gonna put Jacksonville up here at the end of the solid contenders. I think they're gonna win the division, so they will be in the playoffs. I'm gonna put them up there. I'm gonna put Baltimore at playoff fringe. I do know they finally got the Lamar Jackson nonsense situated, but. J.K. Dobbins is back from the injury. He should be better now. We'll see. Of course, the RPO with Lamar, that's going to be very interesting. Who's going to step up at the wide receiver game? I know Bateman's shown flashes. Can he be the man there? We will see. Defense is always formidable there. It's been for quite some time. I'm not too worried about the defensive side. But again, I think the other teams in the division just got better than them. I think they got better than them. Mainly Cincinnati and Cleveland. I think they're a little bit better than Pittsburgh right now. But overall, I think they're probably going to be on the outside looking in. They could squeak out a wild card, but I think that's the best they can do right now. Let's see. Let's go to our next one. And then we're going to go to a rival, Cleveland Browns. So Cleveland, I'm going to put a little bit higher on there. Now, a lot of people are really high on them. Deshaun Watson is going to have a full season under his belt. Maybe I'm putting a little too low. Kareem Hunt's gone. It's going to be the Nick Chubb show for the most part. But I got to say this with Deshaun Watson. I know he was a couple years removed from football. He didn't look so good in the preseason. I mentioned that last year. And when he came back off the suspension, didn't look so good. Can that be improved? Of course. Is he going to be the same player he was 3-4 years ago? I don't think so. And that's why I put them in the playoff fringe here. I mean, this might be one of the hardest teams to rate in the AFC, the Cleveland Browns here. They could go boom, tank it all the way down. They could compete and win the division. Depending on how Watson gets back, if he can get that sharpness back, he was not sharp in any way, shape, or form last year when he came back. Obviously, so the rust can that happen? And Nick Chubb's getting a lot of mileage on there. I know they got a backup. I forgot his name, but still not going to be as good as Nick Chubb. So a lot of questions there. I think they probably will make the playoffs and probably knock Baltimore out in the process, but it's going to be tough. I don't think right now they can compete with some of the more elite teams in the conference. That's just my opinion on that. So let's get to the Colts. Another team, they're done screwing around with these veteran quarterbacks. They're going to go right to the rookie, Anthony Richardson. I understand that. It's kind of more of a bold move, in my opinion, given where the state of the team was. But they've been snake bitten, like I said, with Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, Baker. That they weren't the answer, and obviously, so they're kind of starting fresh. I think a team like the Raiders probably would have made more sense to get a guy like Richardson and just kind of shoot for the stars. But you know what? It is what it is, and I'm gonna put the Colts right here. And again, it's not a knock on the team. It's a quarterback league, and is Richardson gonna be good enough right out the gate as a rookie to contend and get a playoff spot? I don't think so. This conference is too tough. I'm just not seeing it right now, to be honest with you. It's going to be interesting. I think they're going to be competitive in their division because their division's more of the weaker divisions, but those conference games are going to be tough for them. So I got to put them right there. I think Baltimore's a little more seasoned from coaching on down. And I got to give them the edge there. And Cleveland could very well be on a fringe conference favorite on the high end, or they could be down here. So we'll see with them. And then you got some solid teams up here. All three of these teams I think are better than the Colts. Let's be honest. So let's see. Let's go to our next one on our board right below me, and that is the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to put them up here at the top, conference favorites. Not to say that they're the best team, but I think they're in that upper tier. We'll get to the other teams. We know Kansas City. We'll get to them in a minute. We haven't gotten to them yet. So for now, though, of course, kind of 2 years removed from that Super Bowl run they had. Jamar Chase, I think that's going to be a big step up there with Burrow. Joe Mixon, hopefully he stays healthy. Like I said, Perrine is gone. He went to Denver. So I hope he stays healthy. I know they got a backup guy there. Hasn't had a lot of snaps. They drafted a couple years back in the third round. So I think injuries will probably be the big key for this team. But otherwise, I think they're going to be in the hunt to contend for the AFC title. So let's go to our next team. That's the Chargers. Now, and I've said this a number of times, I think the Chargers are one of the better overall teams, but the coaching sucks. And Brandon Staley is still there, so it's still going to suck. I don't see some miraculous turnaround with this team, with Brandon Staley getting his head out of his ass. I don't see it, but they still have the talent. Austin Eckler is coming back. They gave him some incentives in his contract. There was some discussion that he wanted a trade, blah, blah, blah. So Austin might be playing for a new contract next year. So we can see big things from him still. Herbert was hurt last year. You could see he wasn't quite himself, kind of a shadow of himself. Joey Bosa was hurt a good amount of the time as well. So, and they got Khalil Mack back. They've renegotiated. I remember I said they owed him $23 million head coming in here. They renegotiated it. He stayed there. So they're still locked and loaded. The secondary is still great there. Let's be honest. Rashawn Slater got hurt last year. Their left tackle, a stud. He's going to be back. So are they really going to get snake bit twice with injuries? They were kind of had above average on injuries, this team. I'm going to say no, and I'm going to put this team probably, Yeah, there we go. I'm going to put this team right at the top of the second tier. Of course, they're going to have to topple the Chiefs. I don't know if they can do that yet. Chiefs are still king of the mountain. But they're right there. They're right there. I think they're right at that top of that second tier, fringe first tier right now. Staley could screw it up for them, of course, but they have the talent. I don't think they can get snake bit 2 years in a row on injuries. I think that's where they're going to stand right there. Let's get to our next team, and we're going to skip the Raiders. We're going to hold off on the Raiders. We're going to go to the Chiefs. I had the Chiefs as number 2 and Buffalo as number 1. Of course, they're the defending champions. I'm going to put them up here. And let's put Buffalo where they belong. I'm going to put them right here at number 2, of course. Locked and loaded. Big question I have for them is James Cook. Can he handle the load? He's not his brother. He's a little smaller now. There's rumors that Dalvin's going to go there. That would be a major coup. I think they can make it work salary cap wise. But I would not depend. Of course, Singletary had left in free agency. I can't rely on James Cook for a full slate, full load at the running back position, 3-down guy. I can't do it. He's dynamic, but I think he's too small. I don't think he can hold up durability wise. Can prove me wrong, but I don't see that. But if they get Dalvin Cook, I mean, wow, that could be. I would put that 1A, 1B. With Kansas City. I got to give the Chiefs number 1. They're the defending champions. They looked great last year. Ran through, won the Super Bowl against Philadelphia. Wasn't a blowout, but Philadelphia is no slouch either. We're talking about the AFC. So that's where I have it, with the exception of the Raiders. I hate to say this, guys. I got to put it there. This is why, and this whole story with Jimmy G coming out. Now, I know he's a transition quarterback, but here's the thing. They knew about the injury. They knew there could be a problem. He did not have the surgery at the time when he signed. They're saying he's going to be back. That's one of the rumors. He's going to be back for training camp. But we lost Denzel Perryman. I think Derek Carr is a better quarterback than Jimmy G. So we're looking at this season. Denzel Perryman, Robert Spillane, Mickey Spillane. I don't really care who. Some backup with the Steelers is going to be as good. Show me you're as good as Denzel Perryman. I don't buy it. The cornerback room is still thin. They could very well be the worst team in the AFC. Unless we have Art White's pick, Aiden O'Connell step up in his rookie season and kind of save us. I mean, Art did have Aiden O'Connell beating the Chiefs in Arrowhead on Christmas, 100-to-1 shot, I've said before. But right now, I mean, I'm more of a realist. I want the Raiders to win, but I didn't see a solution before. With Jimmy G, I could see the transition. Are they going to go after one of those upper quarterbacks? They didn't. They got Aiden O'Connell, which frankly probably fits McDaniels' system. But how long does McDaniels have? I mean, I'm going to say he's got this year and maybe some of 2024. And what I think is going to happen is I think Jimmy G will be back. I think he'll play. Won't finish the season. I would be shocked if he finishes the whole season. His injury history is extensive. They're going to get Aiden O'Connell in, get his feet wet. The team's not going to be very good anyway. Josh Jacobs has not been signed yet. Of course, they have until July 17th for him to sign the franchise tag. There's some tweets about him saying it's bad business and all this stuff because I think they're trying to negotiate a contract. They can't see eye to eye. They did not trade him. It just seems like mess after mess with this right now. They went and got Jacoby Myers, but we still have Hunter Renfrow, which essentially plays the same position at the slot. I'm a little concerned. I'm more than a little concerned at this point. I was trying to be optimistic, and the more I see yes, Aiden O'Connell, there he is, right there. Yes, I'm not buying it so far. Put up some wins and prove yourself first. So I got to put the Raiders at the bottom, guys. I hate to do it, but I got to be real with you guys. And I was trying to be optimistic when I did my scheduling, but this whole thing about, like I said, the Jimmy G situation, the way it came out, it was terrible. So as far as the Raider news goes, we do have some actual news and not speculation. Our last 2 draft picks, Michael Mayer and Jacorian Bennett, have signed. So we've signed all of our draft picks. So that's a plus. That's a plus. So everybody should be there at training camp. No problems there. Little faith. All of faith. Of ye of little faith must play defense. Oh, we didn't even talk about the defense. Well, we did with Denzel Perryman and Mickey Spillane's Mike Hammer. Robert Spillane's going to take over for him. Okay, sure. Maybe he's not as injury prone, but is he as good? I want to see that. I want to see that. I know we got Epps at the strong safety position. The DTs, Jerry Tiller's got to step up. Let's face it. Bilal Nichols, up and down. Let's be honest, up and down. We did get Tyree at the edge. I think that's more of a future pick. I think Chandler Jones is probably going to step up this year because we're going to cut him. We got a low cap hit the year after, and he's probably going to try to play for a contract in 24 with somebody else. But the DTs are at question. The linebackers are at question. The cornerback room is at question. Trayvon Merrick was kind of took a step back. Let's be honest. Sophomore kind of slump, whatever you want to say. Could Epps take his job? Very well. Very well could. So this defense has not shown me anything. Patrick Graham, a lot of people shit on Gus Bradley. This defense was better under Gus Bradley. Let's be honest. It was better under Gus Bradley. Defense has got to show me something. Prove yourself first. That's right, Kevin Lurker. And the defense has got to prove itself of something. So I was so confident going into last year. I tempered it a little bit. I was thinking like 10 or 11 wins. I wasn't quite sure. I was looking at the talent that we could compete with the Chiefs. If we want to win 13 wins, we're going to have to take down the Chiefs. That's the bottom line. And I didn't really see it. I could see us as another wild card team. But McDaniels basically shit the bed, and you got to give some blame to Derek Carr too. Some of those games were horrific that he played. Hang on. I'll mute while I drink. You hear me gulping. For example, the Saints game, he looked like absolute shit. Now, the line wasn't very good, but you know what? you don't cross into Saints territory until 2 minutes in the game. 2 minutes left in the game. No, there's no excuse for that. Quarterback has to take that first. Again, they get a lot of credit, but they get a lot of blame. He needs the blame there. Even I think there's an article I read. Even he himself said he feels he didn't play as well as he could have last year. Oh, well, no shit. And then the whole thing, that's another kind of decision on this regime. They gave him that extension and all those contract implications, and now he's not our guy. So we basically got nothing for him. So I don't know. So what do you guys think? You see my list right there. This is kind of, you can move a team or two around here or there. I do have Denver pretty low. I had them finishing 4th last season. Got a lot of shit for it, but they finished 4th. Could they be up here a little bit? Yeah. Could Pittsburgh drop down? I could see that, but Denver making I don't see them up here. Maybe one more level up. I just don't see it. And Houston's rebuilding. It's a rebuild. They got a rookie. Future's looking brighter. Okay, they got Will Anderson on the other side of the ball. Good for them. But 2023, it's not going to be the year. Let's be honest. We will score points. Must play deep. Are we going to score points? One, is Jimmy G even going to be in there? 2, can he throw it further than 10 or 15 yards? They called Derek Carr check down, Charlie. You haven't seen anything yet when you haven't seen Jimmy G. It's like West Coast offense from hell with this guy, and they drafted as such with Mayer at tight end. They've got another slot guy in Jacoby Myers, so So I want to hear what you guys have to say. What say you? What say you? Let's get back over here. What say you? If you want to come on board, I'll open the chat. Of course, I put it as the pinned comment. If you want to come and talk, you do not have to show your face, of course. You don't have to do that, but you do have to have a microphone, right? We got to be able to hear you. So you click on that link. You'll be put in kind of a green room. You just put your name that you go by on here. I'll let you in. We can talk about things, whatever you guys want to talk about. We will get that done. And there we go. For some reason, my camera can't work on there and here at the same time. So anyway, let's go here. Let's see. Where are we at? Let's see. Art White says, at least put us a year or two. Well, how do I put us a year or two when look where we're at. I mean, let me get my chat room there. There we go. It's better fit. How you guys doing? So if you do want to come in, click on that link. As far as a year or two, they got to show it to me. I'm still waiting. I mean, it's 40 years. Gray hair. I mean, I was a kid when I watched them in the Super Bowl. I'm not no kid anymore. This is enough. We contended in the early 2000s. Okay. 20 years ago. 20 years ago we went. And we could talk about that. I mean, people said that game was thrown for Gruden, that Super Bowl. We could talk about that if you want to talk about that. Bill Callahan, big piece of shit, in my opinion. And it's not just my opinion. Ask Tim Brown, ask Jerry Rice. But that was 20 years ago. 20 years ago. 40 years ago since we've actually won the damn thing. So I'm frankly out of patience with this team. They got to, like Kevin, they got to show me something. They got to show me something. And this Patriot way, outside of New England, what has it shown anybody? It hasn't shown shit. It hasn't shown nothing. Art White said he's seen all. I'm with you, champ. Art White said he's seen all 3 Super Bowl wins. Wow. I was not a Raider fan until about 78. I started watching football with my dad. So, the second one, the 1980 season, 81, against the Eagles, we were on a trip in Las Vegas. I lived in Southern California at the time. We were driving back home, Super Bowl Sunday. My dad didn't want to watch the game. He wanted to get ahead of the traffic, so I had to listen to it on the radio. He was a Rams fan, by the way, so yeah, he didn't give a shit. So I listened to that. The 83 season, the Redskins, can we even say that name anymore? It's historical Washington, whatever's, when we kicked there. I actually watched that game. Watched it with my old man. One of the best games I've ever seen in my life. I was so happy. So that's awesome, Art. So yeah, I didn't see the Minnesota one except for the NFL. I was too young for that, but I did listen to the Super Bowl 15 on the way back from Vegas. I was a kid. I didn't really have much to say. So, especially then, get slapped around, you know what I'm saying? So we have playmakers need to put it in their hands. Okay. Do we have an offensive line to keep Jimmy G from breaking into 1,000 pieces, especially on the interior? I'm not so worried about Illuminor and Colton Miller. I'm not. I mean, not to say Illuminor is great, but I think he's good enough at right tackle. I think Colton Miller's, if not top 5, top 10 left tackle in the league. So I'm cool with that. It's the interior. The interior had some problems last season. I'm just saying. I mean, people talk shit about Derek Carr, but I'm not seeing anything this year. There's no commitment to excellence. I'm seeing a commitment to rebuilding, maybe, and gouging you with ticket prices. That's what I'm seeing here. And who knows? I think that's what's going to happen. I think Jimmy G's going to make it to training camp, Foot's going to be okay. He's going to be the starter. We'll have Aiden O'Connell as the backup. Maybe Hoyer, number 2, number 3. At some point, O'Connell's going to come in this year because I don't think we're going to be very good. I think Jimmy G's going to get hurt. And at that point, why not? Why not put him out there and see what you got? Put him out there, see what you got. And maybe he'll have some sparks, of doing well. Very well could. I would be optimistic about that. And then what's going to happen is basically he's going to be the starter next year. And then we're going to say, oh, this is the new era, Aiden O'Connell. And if that fails, then I think McDaniels is going to be out. This regime will be out, whether mid-season 24 or at the end of 2024. But I think we've got at least one more full season of this regime. Again, it's not all their fault. I've talked about this before. $30 million of dead cap space. Most of it's from the old regime. I can't blame them for that. Gruden and Mayock were absolutely terrible. Especially in the front end of the draft, these free agents that they signed. Corey Littleton was trash. Let's be honest. Didn't do anything for us. Took a lot of money. Didn't do much else. The other guy, the safety from the Rams, didn't do much for us. Let's be honest. Antonio Brown. John Gruden, were you smoking crack at the time? Please. He got frostbite on his feet. He went crazy. He jumped in his pool when he finally got released. We're a laughing stock. I mean, and we got Tommy Boy running the show as the owner. I mean, like I said, I would like somebody like Mark Cuban, somebody who cares about winning. He cared in Dallas with the Mavericks and the NBA. Not to say some football guru. We don't need that. We need somebody to step in and get the right people in here. And this guy's a joker, Mark Davis. He's a joke. He's an absolute joke. What's he done? It's crap after crap after crap. So I'm with Kevin. Until you start winning, show me something. Show me something. Gruden sucks at drafting. Oh yeah, absolutely. And like I said, there was some things. Mayock handled the rest of the draft, and Gruden overrode him on the first round picks, and I've heard that. Oh, who knows? But they drafted Lynn Bowden Jr. too, and then cut him before what, training camp? I think before training camp started, or it's definitely before the season. He went to Miami, he got signed there. He was like a 3rd round pick. Edwards, the wide receiver, I had a big kid. I had a lot of hope for him. Didn't do much of anything. Let's be honest. They got Hunter Renfrow. They got Max Crosby. Yeah. Nate Hobbs was a later round pick, but for the most part, and then the first 2 rounds, oh my God, what a disaster. What a disaster. Look at all that draft capital we got. Look at the draft capital we have from the Khalil Mack trade. The first thing Gruden comes in and trades him. And I kind of defended the trade because of the money he wanted and all, whether or not they got along and all that Young and the Restless bullshit. I think we got a lot of good draft capital. We didn't use it. And that set us back a couple years. So it's like anything else, And meanwhile, Kansas City's drafting well. 7 rookies in the Super Bowl playing. How many drafts do we need to have? How many drafts do we need to have 7 rookies starting, let alone being in a Super Bowl? So it all starts at the top. The ownership is trash. The ownership flows down. If it's got good ownership, it's going to flow down to good personnel people, flow down to good coaching and good players. That's the bottom line. My opinion. Oh no, I missed it all. It wasn't a whole lot. I did the Tiermaker. You can rewind back. I'll probably get a lot of thumbs down for it. I don't really care. This channel is kind of flatlined anyway. I come on here because there's no real growth here. Let's be honest. I come on here because I enjoy it. I'm a Raider fan, Raider Nation. I like doing it. I've tried everything else to stimulate this channel, give it some paddles, it's not working, whether it's YouTube, whether people just don't like me. I at this point, I don't give a shit. I know I have a core group of followers like you guys who come every time, which I appreciate, and it's great. And if that's all there is, then I'll do it for what I can do it. I've got some other things going on anyway, so it's not a big deal. Basically, I did a tier maker for the AFC. I put the Raiders at the bottom. It proved me wrong. I mean, geez. I mean, this team's been a laughing stock. All these red flags with Jimmy G now. And of course, like I keep saying, this is a quarterback league. They protect these guys. And not only do we don't have a good quarterback, in my opinion, we have an average at best quarterback. I think Derek Carr is better than Jimmy G. Not only do we not even have like kind of an average mediocre quarterback, we got one that's off injured. And they're saying he's going to be back for training camp. We'll see. So what are we going to do? Brian Hoyer. I mean, and last year we were basically picking people up off the street and putting them on defense because we can't spend any damn money. It's like a minor league team. What are we doing here? Really? They keep pissing on your shoes and telling you it's raining here. And I've had it with this team. I've had it with the organization. They're a joke. It's definitely not commitment to excellence. They're at the bottom, no question. And the whole, like I said, in my opinion, you weren't here before, but the whole situation with things coming out about Jimmy G, and they already, the Raiders already kind of failed him physically until he had to get a surgery, and they signed him provisionally, and that's coming out. That's why the opening presser for him signing was a day later. It was delayed 24 hours because of that. It's just like clown show after clown show after clown show because the head guy is a big fucking clown. Mark Davis, he's an idiot. He came out of the right lineage. I'll not be vulgar. Came out from Al Davis, who was a mastermind. This guy, lucky he can even tie his shoes probably and find the closest Hooters. I think that's the only thing he really gives a shit about, to be honest. And making money, of course. But football, he doesn't know shit. Regime after regime is a joke. The moves are a joke. We're a punchline to every joke in the NFL, just about. A few exceptions. Jerry Jones sticking his nose in like an idiot, of course. Daniel Snyder. What can be said about that guy? Come on. But especially as far as the team goes, it looks like we just put out a bunch of like minor league type players out there. It's like, come on, man. Kevin Lurker says Mark Davis's record as an owner is 79-115 with 2 playoff games. So there you go. Where's that commitment to excellence at? Why the hell do we still have these signs and flags at the stadium? I did do the stadium tour, of course. They wouldn't let me record. I took a shitload of pictures if you want to watch that. It was pretty interesting, but they've got that kind of stuff, pride and poise and all that old school Raider stuff splattered everywhere, right? Replica Super Bowl trophies, the Hall of Fame, the guys who went to the Hall of Fame, they got a thing for him and one of the wings. That was awesome. That's great. But right now, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the commitment to excellence of Al Davis. I'm not. Mark Davis is the joke. There's the stats right there. No doubt. Can't believe the Donkeys will be better than, yeah. And I said it. I said, Denver has not beaten us since we've moved to Las Vegas, not since we were the Oakland Raiders. And that's going to change this year. I think we're going to split with them. I said we're going to win game 1. I don't know about that. It is in Mile High. The weather's not going to be an issue. So, but I don't think we're going to sweep these guys again. No way. No way. I would be absolutely shocked. Mark Davis is an idiot. Football business. Oh yeah, he's making money. Like I said, I've said this before. I have very unpopular opinions. That's probably part of the reason why this channel hasn't grown. And I've said basically to kind of boycott. Don't go to the games. The parking's like $100 fucking dollars. Okay, just to park your car. Okay, to the game. They gave us free parking on the tour. I haven't been to a game down there. I refuse to. Screw that. It's $400 or $500 for cheap seats. Okay, $20 for a beer, $10 for a hot. It's like I said, it's just just gouging you. And then they're gonna play the they're gonna play the music, and show the old Super Bowl wins, and Matuzak taking somebody's head off, and Jack Tatum. Yeah, buy another beer. It's just like a big screw job. I could see if they were actually trying to win, and sometimes you just got to blow it up and rebuild. I get it, but it's just over and over and over and over again with this franchise. They keep trying to do this stuff. Why did we get Devontae Adams then? Why did we spend that kind of money on a wide receiver? One, if we weren't going to keep Derek Carr. Two, if we're not going to contend. What was the point about that? And why didn't we try to trade him in the offseason? It could happen in the middle of the season. I mean, somebody's going to want that guy. Contending team, we'll see. But why do that? Why make these moves if you're just going to have your thumb up your butt? I don't get it. Continuation of shit. Someone did say that. I'm like immortalized now. I think I said that with the couple live streams ago. It's like I went on a rant and I just said continuation of shit. So I think that's what it is. They hate Raider. Are you talking about Mark Davis hating Raider Nation, or are you talking about the Patriot regime? It's kind of a conspiracy thing, but it's hard for me to say that, to be honest with you. I don't think they respect Raider Nation at all, especially Mark Davis. They respect your wallet. They don't respect you. He definitely doesn't respect his dad and his legacy, the way the team is run, and we're sitting at the bottom of the barrel constantly. Again, I'm not expecting 14-2 every year. Sometimes you got to blow it up. That's fine, but I don't see the commitment to excellence here. I haven't seen it for quite some time. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. So, if you want to, let's see. Yeah, all the prices. So yeah, I don't, as far as the Patriots regime goes, Ziegler, McDaniels hating the Raider Nation, I don't think they do. Let's think about it now. Okay. If I'm Josh McDaniels, right? Logically, am I going to have this hatred for the Raiders from what? I don't know what, because they got the good end of the deal in the Tuck rule. I don't even know if he was with the team at the time, number one. Number two, the Patriots, like I said, they got the good end of the deal. Where's the animosity, number one? Number two, or number four, number whatever, 498, whatever the hell number I'm on. He went to Denver, right? Looked like shit. Ran Jay Cutler out of town, ran Brandon Marshall out of town, looked like a complete asshole, and everybody said it, right? Went back with his tail between his legs, back to Bill Belichick to get his old job back, basically. The whole Indianapolis Colt thing, I guess that was a done deal. He was going to be there and said, bloop. I'll do that real quick. I want to get in trouble with YouTube. He basically did that to him. So, again, if he has any brains in his head, he's going to want to do the absolute best job he can here with this, like, third chance he's got, because if he shits the bed here, that's it. I don't think he'll never be a head coach again. Never. And Dave Ziegler, he's going to get dragged down in the mud too. This is his first time as a GM. So it might be quite some time before he gets that kind of position again. So I really don't see why they would. Maybe Mark Davis would, because of his politics and all that, maybe. But this regime, this Patriots, there's no reason. No reason. Seats, parking. Yeah, and you go to the Raider image there. It's a pretty nice store if you've been there. I don't know if you guys have been there. I've been there. Part of the tour. Prices are outrageous, of course. It's going to be outrageous. I think I got a little something at the time. Nothing big. But very nice. Everything's very nice there, except the product on the field. It's shit. Continuation is shit. Josh McDaniels hates Raider Nation because we all hate him. Again, he's committing. I can't say the word, the S word, where you take care of your. I definitely don't want to say that here. Kind of career, and then that word where you end everything yourself. I don't want to say the word. He's committing that if this is true, if there's some kind of vendetta. I don't see the vendetta here. I don't see why he would want to do that. Basically screw himself over. I mean, if he does that, he might not even get the heir apparent job after Belichick leaves. I've heard that he wants that head coaching job with New England. Why would Kraft or whoever is getting the happy endings there, the new owner, if it's not him, why the hell would he hire this idiot? If he can't, this is like 3 strikes. You're out, buddy. You're out. Yeah, Mark Davis screws this on. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You, Raider Nation. The only way we're gonna fight back is hit him in the pocketbook. I'm saying. I'm muted. You hear me gulping, but anyway, it's the only way we're gonna hit these guys in the pocketbook. Say enough is enough with this bullshit already, guys. Come on. So, all right, we usually normally go about an hour. I'm gonna close the official voting in about 10 or 20 seconds. So if you want to vote, I did put if I can, YouTube's acting weird. I did put a live vote here. Which tier do you see the Raiders in 2023? I put S tier, A or B tier, C or D tier, or F tier. Most of you got the C to D tier, middle of the road. I would put in the F tier. I think we're fighting for a draft pick. And it starts at the quarterback position. I still don't think we have the talent to compete anyway. Let's see. Everyone, let me get to your chat here. Whoops, sorry about that. My opinion says everyone else gets to enjoy the Raiders except Raider fans. Well, I'm just saying, maybe it won't work. I mean, if they can get enough people from the other teams to fill the seats, then, Mark Davis is like, well, I don't care. We'll just be a punching bag. I don't care. This is just as long as I'll make my money and I can go to Hooters and eat wings. This is what this guy is. This guy's an idiot. And what happened to that whole thing? I talked about this about a year ago with the president of the company resigning, of the Raiders resigning, and this whole thing about allegations of harassment by Mark Davis. I didn't hear anything about it. It's swept under the rug. It's good to be the king, I guess, huh? It's been a year here. Wow. It's been a year here. Yeah. I've been doing this for about 2.5 years. Crazy. I voted F because we're going to finish 4th in the West. Yeah, absolutely we are. Oh yeah. I had Denver finishing last year. That came true. I think we're going to finish last this year. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't care. At one point, when is this guy going to be called out? Like I said, take the commitment to excellence banners down. Take all the Al Davis stuff down. You know what? You got the money. You know what you do? Get a building, make a museum, put all the old shit in there. John Madden, that's great. Put it there. Don't put it on the field because this team is taking a crap on that. On the old Raiders, the commitment to excellence, Al Davis's way, they're just taking a crap. They're pissing all over it, and to me it's disrespectful. If you're not going to embody those principles, don't put them up. Don't pee on my shoes and tell me it's raining, Mark. I'm a big fan of Peyton, as you know. What I said about Denver, just to let you know, I put them as the year away. I think it's going to take about I think they didn't do really much of anything with the wide receiver situation. I think they're paying over $30 million between Sutton, Judy, and Patrick, I believe. That's too much money, in my opinion. Javonte Williams is not going to be. I think he's going to come back second half of the year. He's not going to be 100%. I know they got Samaje. It's going to be okay. They're going to look better. The defense is not quite there, especially in the pass rushing game and up the middle. They just aren't there. Let's be honest. Denver's defense has kind of regressed over the past few years. Let's be honest. Now, secondary looks good. I'll give you that. They drafted that kid as a linebacker, but I think they're another year or so. And Sean Payton's proven he's going to get that year. It's not going to be a problem. I think they will improve. I'm not sure if Russell Wilson can take them to the promised land, though. That team's going to have to get a lot better. Russell Wilson's not an MVP anymore, so. All right. Any other comments? I'm going to end the poll right now. So we got it. A third of you have voted for the F tier. I think one person voted for the top tier. Somebody could say delusional. Somebody else could say optimistic. Whichever way you want to flow with that, there's the final results. You see it in the chat right there. I'm at the F tier right now. Again, I was questioning things before. If you've watched my videos and my game reviews, I mean, McDaniels looked completely lost. Getting out coached by Jeff Saturday and that offensive coordinator who never called a game in his life, that Indianapolis game, we got out coached. We got out coached in that game. The Saints game was an absolute embarrassment, getting shut out, not even getting in Saints territory until the 2-minute warning. Absolutely embarrassing. Okay. I questioned his coaching all along. I said, well, the draft picks is going to have to come along. I know we have some dead cap. I can't really hurt, the personnel side, but the whole Carr thing, well, Carr's not our quarterback now. He is. Chandler Jones deal was shit. He didn't really produce, let's be honest. And now this whole thing with Jimmy G, it's kind of the straw for me with the camel's back. This whole stuff that came out after the fact with Jimmy G, and we're basically rolling it. They don't give a shit about winning. They don't care. They want to delude you into coming to the games, spending the money, buying the gear. That's what they want. That's what they want. They don't want to win. Winning secondary. I mean, if they absolutely have to do that, then they'll think about it. But if we're going to be stupid and go see a minor league team and spend major league money, oh, they're laughing all the way to the bank, laughing at us. They're all going to laugh at you. They're all going to laugh at you. All right. I think we're going to close this one out. I've had enough fun. Next time we're going to be doing this is going to be in 2 weeks, of course. I'm not going to come on every week and drink fireballs or eat hot sauce or some bullshit. I'm here for Raider news. So come on every couple of weeks. And like I said, the big news, the real news was that we signed the last two players, Mayer and Bennett, our last two draft picks. So we got everybody signed in the draft. So that's, like I said, that's a plus. The training camp will be in about a month or so. So I will come on in about 2 weeks. Any kind of updates, do a little show again, and probably 2 weeks after that. And then once we get into August, we'll get into training camp, get a little bit more regular with this. But right now, like you said, this is the dead zone, the void zone, dog days of summer. Nothing really going on post-draft, pre-training camp. Nothing really going on here. And we don't have the salary cap to sign any big names. We just don't. Unless Jimmy G shits the bed and we can wipe that off, it's not going to happen. So, champ for GM. Well, that I'm not saying I can be a GM and then I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, look at my videos 2 years ago. I wanted Damian Pierce and people thought I was insane that I wanted a running back. We got Josh Jacobs. This is before he had his rushing title. He did not do, his stats were declining until last year. Let's be honest. Okay. So maybe he was playing for a contract, but I wanted Damian Pierce. I wanted him to be the heir apparent. Before that, I wanted Ramondre Stevenson as a late round pick because the way he ran, and look at him in New England. Come on. I don't know. I thought Micah Parsons would have been great. We didn't have a chance at him though. Unless we moved up. I don't blame the regime for that. But this whole Cleve Farrell thing, it's like enough already. If fans can do a better job, then what does that say about you guys? I'm talking about the organization. If you're watching this, the organization, you guys are making millions of dollars. you know, the GMs, the coaches, and all those personnel guys. You're making millions of dollars to put this product on the field. You got to feel ashamed of yourself. You got to feel ashamed of yourself. You're stealing money. You are stealing money right now from Raider Nation. That's what you're doing. I mean, do you think this roster can compete for a title? Are you smoking some crack today? But you're getting your millions. It doesn't matter. You're getting your money. It doesn't matter. We're going to still buy the jerseys and all this other bullshit. So it don't matter. It's like hate the player, hate the game. We're being the stupid people for funding your incompetence. That's the bottom line here. So anyway, I got on my soapbox for CD Lamb. CD was good. I think I would rather had Ruggs at the time. I didn't know he was going to go nuts. I wanted that speed. I wanted to stretch the field out. I will say that I did not know that he was going to drive 155 miles an hour down the road, and you know what happened. Jake Carter this season was my guy. I don't know. He had that off the field thing again. This is Vegas. I didn't want to see another Ruggs. That's why I didn't want Jalen Carter. Truth bombs. That's right, guys. Okay. Thank you guys for coming out. A lot of the regulars come out. I appreciate that. To me, at this point, it's not quantity, but quality. You guys are all awesome. I appreciate you guys coming out and listening to me rant and hearing my opinions and getting a little Raider news. Again, few and far between right now. Not a lot of transactions. Again, the only thing official is signing the rest of the draft picks, which is a good thing. No holdouts as far as that goes. Still nothing on Josh Jacobs yet. He's tweeting some bad business bullshit going on. He's probably just pissed off. Hasn't gotten a contract yet. Is there going to be a contract? More clown show, more stuff in the air. Jimmy G supposed to be good for training camp. We don't know. I mean, we deserve better. Raider Nation deserves better. I'm done talking about it. I've given enough energy to this shit. Raider Nation deserves better. You deserve better. I deserve better. Again, solid fans. I mean, people talk smack. We're still fans after all this. Okay. So there's something to be said about that. So, I want to thank you guys for coming out again. Appreciate it. Supporting the channel and all that. See you in 2 weeks. And until then, go Raiders.
Let me ask you something. With all the distractions that you have off the field, how are you able to keep focused on winning football games as you do and do throughout the years?
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.